If I can build a spray booth, so can you. Bob Johnson here from PK&W Railroad. Thanks for tuning in. This is the third in my series about building my own spray booth. The first episode was about the plan and building the Ventworks spray booth. I'll try and put a link up here to that video. The second video was about safety and about how to make sure that your spray booth was explosion proof. Again, try and put a link up here. I'll also put a link to the playlist at the end of this video so that you can see the other two videos. This third video is about actually building the spray booth. And I have to say, I'm really pleased with the results. First of all, because it makes me the honey badger of airbrush painting. Okay, you probably remember the honey badger thing, the meme and all that stuff from 9 years ago, where the honey badger, no matter what obstacles the honey badger ran into, the honey badger didn't give a shit and proceeded to do whatever it needed to do to survive. Well, that's me with spray painting. Now that I have a spray booth, as soon as I get it attached to the window, that is, if it's snowing, if it's super hot, if it's raining, I don't give a shit. I'm the honey badger. Now the fourth video in this series will be hopefully much shorter and will just be a video about how I'm attaching the booth to a window. If you've got normal double hung windows, just go up and down. Be pretty straightforward to have a panel, a hole in it for your exit, and just lower the window down on top of that. Pretty easy. The place I'm renting right now has crank out casement windows that go out away from the house. So it's a different situation. I'm gonna have to figure out exactly how to solve that. So that'll be video number 4. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. I appreciate every one of you. And now let's get on with a kind of a step-by-step review of the process of building this spray booth. So here are some of the components for the build. I wanted to focus in particular on that piece of plexiglass. It was 24 inches long, and that's not quite long enough, so get something longer. I really worried about cutting the plexiglass, but with a new 80-tooth blade and my table saw, it really cut like butter. I had to trim it later with a little bit dull blade, and it wasn't as good, but with a new blade, it cut beautifully. I got a piece of AC 1/2-inch plywood, and I was really happy with the results. You know, it could have been smoother and nicer if I'd gotten cabinet grade plywood, but it probably also would have been a lot heavier. And as it is, this spray booth is pretty bulky. You can, one man can pick it up and move it around, but it is pretty bulky, doesn't have a handle on it. I may install a handle at some point, but as you can see, I really took my time to line up every cut and make sure everything was feeding correctly through my 30-year-old Sears table saw. But again, that new 80-tooth blade that I happen to have laying around in the garage turned out to be a real godsend. Cut super smooth edges, so there was only a little bit of sanding required in order to get it done. I'm just going to show you the one cut, but obviously there was a lot of cutting, some angled cuts that had to be set up really carefully in order to get those done because of the shape of the sides of the unit. Also cutting some of the edges at a 45-degree angle. It's all in the plan on Ventworks, so I'm not going to show it here, but it was a project getting this all cut and cleaned up. Now you got, on setting up the fan, you need to knock out one of the knockouts. I used this strain relief connector to connect the cord to it. And here you see the final install. I had to put some electrical tape around it to get it to be tight. The right angle bend for the exit out of the fan motor, I put some caulk around there to get a good seal. This is the back end of the back of the inside of the back. And here is the top of the back. I use foam tape on this side. On the other side, I use caulk. My only point on that foam tape is make sure you don't get it too close to the screw holes. Here's assembly in progress. I clamped it. I don't know that clamps were absolutely necessary. Once you screw it together, obviously it pulls together really well. Here I kind of put the pieces together. Everything wasn't absolutely connected together for this, but it was a nice photo op for the internet and pretty much shows you what it looks like before it was painted. Went together pretty quickly. It's basically just a box. There you can see the plexiglass sticking out over the edge a little bit. It's too big. It had to be trimmed. I pre-painted the pieces white for the insides. Here's the switch I installed on the outside. I wanted to have a switch. It was set up to run all 3 wires through there. I just bypassed everything except the hot lead. I ran through the switch. It worked perfectly. Here's the final installation. Here's the booth being painted. I found some paint around the house from a prior owner that I could use and painted it gray on the outside. Painted it white on the inside. You want to reflect as much light back onto your work as possible, but the light that comes through that window. And here's the final booth. I'm really happy with how it turned out. You see the fan isn't quite at 90 degrees, but not a big deal. I put some caulk where the cords enter the switch so that would be more secure. Now here, where I attach the plexiglass, I use caulk. I'd recommend using double-sided tape. That'll be a much nicer look for your final install. Well, thank you very much for watching and for watching this far. You can do this. You can build your own spray booth. Please reach out to me in the comments if you have any questions or if I can help you in any way on your effort to build your own spray booth. But trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. Again, thanks for watching. This is Bob Johnson with PK&W Railroad signing off until next time. Happy modeling.